Finishers MMA, finishersmma.com, at Finishers. That's how you find them on social media. These guys have a show with us every Monday called Now We Go. You can check it out. Zach, JM, Thor, Grace, there's too many to name that come out of that school, and they are killers in the game. They are the biggest MMA jiu-jitsu school in the area, and they are owning the East Coast. You can contact them at 610-438-0746. Ask for Andrew. They are at 3761 Nicholas Street in Easton, PA. They have 2 locations as of now, Bethlehem and Allentown. They are growing into 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say they are taking over, but they already have. Check them out on all of their social media. They are awesome to follow. And if you're looking to get in shape, you're looking to choke people, you're looking to do anything at all to better your life, finishersmma.com. AllValleyRooter.net. That's not how you pronounce it all the time. I just say it that way. All Valley Rooter, Jared LaBarba. He is my plumber. He's the show's plumber. I'm getting him plumbing business all over, and I love that he is getting what he wants. He has 24-hour emergency service. He is certified, insured, and professional. You can follow him at All Valley Rooter. He's on social media, and you can find his information at allvalleyrooter.net. Jared came down over the weekend and he fixed a problem down here. He's super professional. I love him as a person. I love his business. He grew it, and he's doing his own thing. It's allvalleyrooter.net. It's 24-hour professional plumbing services. He can help you out with everything you need. It's 610-762-1656. He's certified, insured, and professional. Do not be afraid to contact him for any of your plumbing needs. Support Jared. Jared supports us. Luke Delmeyer Handmade Custom Knives. I love Luke. It's lukedelmeyer.com. He's a farrier, a bladesmith, and a blacksmith. He has custom knives, and the best part about it is you can take classes to make them. So not only can you take a class to learn how to make knives, at the end of the class, you get that knife. We're working on a project together. He started recently getting into chef knives, so he's starting to make chef knives. He makes hunting knives. He can make any of your needs as far as blacksmithing. That's at Luke Delmeyer on Instagram. That is the best way to follow him. You can see all the stuff that he's posting. He shares, he does raffles, he gives giveaways. Check out all things Luke Delmeyer at lukedelmeyer.com. We've had him on the show before. You can dig down in the library, listen to how he got started and where he's at now. I'm excited to work with Luke. He's a really good friend of the show, and I'm excited to showcase his chef knife that he's making me. Check out all things Luke Delmeyer at lukedelmeyer.com. Farrier, bladesmith, blacksmith. Rips Auto Detail. This guy is the best, hands down, in the area. I've interviewed him. I know his story. He's doing things that others aren't, and I love that he fucks with the show. I love getting the best of the best and having them support and be a part of this. That's what the sponsorship is for. I'm giving you the best people in their profession, and Rips is the best at auto detail. It's at Rips Auto Detail for Instagram. You follow that. He's showing you the different cars he does, and it's at 630 North Nelson Street in Allentown, PA. He offers paint correction, ceramic, SPS coatings, and more. This is appointment only, and it's ripsautodetail@gmail.com. You can call him at 484-553-1366. I tell you, follow him. If you don't know, you want to know more about what he does, follow him on Instagram. Follow Rips Auto Detail, and you can see all the things that Rip does. He's a big part of the show. We have a separate show we do called Road Dogs, and you can check out his past interviews and hear his whole story. I couldn't recommend this guy more for your auto, car, boat, plane. This guy literally has done everything, and he is the best in the area doing this. Rips Auto Detail.
It's called like taking out the trash on Tuesday or some shit.
Oh, I had no idea.
I don't know. Episode 172.
Woo. That's not.
Welcome to Never Again Radio. Thank you for coming on. We have tonight Dining with Brooks.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We just get the fuck into it. I had the I don't even know how I started following you. I follow a lot of different food stuff, so I don't know how the following started,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh man, like this dude's really into this stuff, and then I like the pictures and everything, and
Thank
then I just saw you kept growing, and then I was like, you know what, like at this point, I just try and find different people to interview because we've done so many interviews. So for me, I was like, I've never talked to anybody who's growing a social media platform from nothing to like, would you consider yourself a food blogger at this? Like, what is your title?
Yeah, somewhat.
And kind of explain your vision of what you do. Because I just did a terrible job at it.
No, I mean, you did a great job. No. So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm blogging because I don't have the website. I'm not
that's
writing
true.
everything
Yeah.
down. But it could become that down the road. But right now, Instagram, it's just simply going to be me showcasing dishes from everything when it comes to bars to gastropubs to fine dining. And it's a well-rounded mix. So you don't have one specific trend or one specific cuisine. And it's
You mix it up quite a bit, which is what I
I
like.
try to, because I don't want to have all, teas or all, steak dishes or whatever, sandwiches. I'd rather have something from this city, and then one day you can have something from local, the next Las Vegas. Fine
And the best
dining.
part about that is this is a job. Like when I was talking to somebody,
hopefully, fingers
Well,
crossed.
no, I'm just saying like it's work to do this much social
yeah.
media, to take the pictures, to do it, to set it up, to go there. Like I was doing the food stuff for a little bit, and I was like, this is the wrong time to be doing this show. It's way too much on top of what you're doing. But like, for you to constantly be able to keep doing it, the correct way would be to mix it up. So then your attention span, you know what I mean? It's
I don't
not
get
boring
tired.
for
I
you.
don't get tired.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Also, I've had for years. I would just take pictures of the food, but never do anything. And I would have friends always ask me, "Oh, what's this restaurant like? What's this restaurant like?" And then also throughout the years, I would have. I'm old school, so I have yellow pads of restaurants from each city I used to visit. Break it down to bars, cocktail bars, lounges, etc. And then I was like, might as well put pen and paper to Instagram, especially during COVID when everyone's on their phones, not going out. And hopefully it makes a difference and people can just follow it and enjoy it.
What was the first thing you posted? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was squid carpaccio at this Scottsdale restaurant in the Four Seasons called Talavera. And beautiful. Looks like stained glass, actually. And I posted it in November 22nd, 2019. And then I think I had like 20 pics between then and March 16th of 2020. And then I just hit it. I just started running after that and just started posting nonstop from March 19th on. Or
That's
16th
crazy.
on.
And you do have to post nonstop in order to like. My buddy's kids would yell at me. They're like, "You're always on your phone," and I'm like, "I have to keep
Yeah.
this going."
No, you do, really.
Yeah.
And I used to start posting. In retrospect, I probably posted a little too much to begin with.
Yes.
So I was like, I was doing 2-3 slides from the start. I was like, I started realizing I started bombarding people. And so now it's like maybe one post a day, do an Insta story, and then the next day or wait 2 days and then continue on. But yeah, so that's what I do, and that's how it's going so far. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
How'd you get into food?
Good question. I would say I started, long story short, I guess this makes me a foodie from the beginning. My parents, just when they went to Ocean City, Maryland, we used to do trips. And around 4 years old, I started ordering off the adult menu, Caesar salad and shrimp
I
cocktail.
forgot about the kids menu and when you transfer
Yeah.
to the adult menu.
I-
That's such a big thing. I feel like
I was
looked
a
up my
fat
dad.
kid, so it was pretty early. Gotta be honest with you
Yeah,
guys.
but
Gotta be honest. He was like, little kids weren't enough. They were gonna get the adult menu.
They're
Don't
like,
laugh.
that's the
mean, it's okay.
appetizer for him.
Yeah, the chicken fingers and stuff like that. No, but I started with Caesar salad and shrimp cocktail. So I guess I was a foodie from a young age.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just, I would always, if it looked interesting, I would eat it. And that's it. No questions asked. I would just try it because I think you eat with your eyes first. And then from there, if you like it, you continue on and you expand your palate.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into food. And then, like I said, just the list that I have, I accumulated all the pictures. I figured might as well just start posting.
Do you cook?
I do, but not that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're probably eating out constantly.
I try not to, but yeah, I do eat out. Oh, yeah.
I just meant because you're you're at the
Well,
places.
see, luckily, though, I still have tons of pictures.
You're ahead of the curve having that content. I tell
Well,
everybody.
like I said, I literally, before COVID started, I probably had like 400 or 500 pictures.
Man, that makes everything so much easier for you.
And then I would just post that. And then
being
probably,
behind the eight ball on content is a nightmare.
Yeah, I guess so. But then
'Cause you're just doing it
then you
daily, yeah.
and you're doing it on the fly too.
Yeah, because when I started doing the what was the food thing I was doing for a little bit? Food fight. I was doing that, and I didn't have any content. And what I would do is I get a sandwich, and then I would review it, and then I would say in the comments, argue where's a better spot to go, and then I would go to that spot. But like, if you don't have anything. Now I'm having it every week to like drive places, and you know what I mean? Like I had to create the content on the go. So then I'd come down here, would put the video on this thing and all this stuff. And like now I look at it where I'm going to bring that back. But like when I'm in the new studio and I have more time, I'm like, I can just shoot this as episodes and then drop it as a show, not I got to be doing this every week.
Of course.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's time consuming, and yeah. No, I get you. No, so I've had the content for a long time, and then slowly but surely, I think once things start opening up I forget when things opened up with COVID.
Yeah.
But I then would do the outdoor dining or eat inside when you allowed it, and then I would have that post. I would take like maybe 20, 30 pics, and then I would get like 4 to 6 dishes.
Yeah.
And then
so much fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, people look at me like I'm crazy because then I'm at a table by myself, and then the waiter or chef is just coming out still with all these plates, and they're like, "Yeah, that's all for me."
Yeah,
but it's okay. I worked out today, so it's fine.
No, sometimes I prefer eating that way alone. It's a different experience.
Well, it's totally because then you can go in your own pace. You can get whatever you want.
Yep.
You can take as many pictures as you want because I know
like family style. I wish they would bring that back because then you could have a bunch of different stuff
of everything.
You could try everything.
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of what I used to do. And then so, like, for example, this is why I also have the content now. I would then take a pic, keep it there, and then post that one. Maybe 2 weeks later, then post the second dish.
Yeah.
Another 2 weeks later, post the third, fourth, and so on and so forth. So this way, it can last me.
Yeah, because you could easily. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I think that the old school stuff, family style and all that shit, I think is the way to go because they don't do that anymore. Like I think sometimes some of these places get too full of themselves and they make things smaller and plates start getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm a fat kid, but it's because like I'll be there, I'm like, I was just here like 2 weeks ago. You've changed how much you've given me now, but the price hasn't changed, and I think they get full of themselves.
Oh yeah, big time.
So every time they do that, I'm done. I'm like, I don't really want to go back there. Like they've lost me.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to try a bunch of stuff, and you want to get you want to kind of get your money's worth too.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. But yeah, no. So that's how I have the content, and it's long lasting.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. I mean, that's just what I do. I mean, right now, I think I got the fly. No,
you didn't.
No, it'll be later today or tonight. I'll send you a picture of it defeated.
Oh, fantastic!
They do die.
Human one,
they
fly
do die. What's it like? With seeing your social media grow, because when we talked on the phone, you also do something very interesting where you interact with almost everybody that becomes a part of your page, which is huge because that makes the experience so much more personal for everybody. I remember when I first was turned on to Angelo Mind Machine, he interacted with me immediately, and especially with food where you can talk to somebody and share something you enjoy about food, that becomes so personal, and then the page becomes so personal, and then that interaction becomes something more than just like, all right, cool, I'm following this guy. Because like now if somebody's like, hey, this is awesome, you have a relationship with you, so then if they respond to you, it's like you're friends.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like for example, even today, I had someone, she lives in Jersey, but she is, for her birthday, she's going to Scottsdale, Arizona. And like I said earlier, we have a second home there, so I frequent it a lot. I was just there for 2 weeks, a couple weeks back.
Well, that's great because you can expand doing this outside of the valley.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's one of the things I love. It's for everyone from all parts of just all different cities across the country. But going back to having that conversation, I saw her story. She's going to Scottsdale, going to some club in Old Town Scottsdale. I said, you're going to have a great time. Is this your first time visiting? She's like, yeah. Any recommendations? So I was like, hey, I got a whole list for you. These are the restaurants to go. These are the clubs to go. And that's that. So like, that's nice to have that connection.
And even giving anyone a recommendation, because he's even given me good food recommendations. Or he'll like, a great story is his boss, or who was it that used to bring the hot dogs back from Chicago?
Yeah, my boss.
The sausages. So his boss used to bring.
Oh, which place?
What was it?
I don't know. They were the red dogs he used to bring back from
Okay.
the. From,
What was
and-
the
and then-
sausages that he used?
And then I brought back
yeah.
the Ditka
Oh
sausages.
yeah, Mike Ditka's sausages.
From the factory there. I can't think of the name of the factory, but they make
'Cause I love that city, by the
sausages
way.
there. Yeah, so they have a huge place that they actually make hot dogs. They make sausages. So the one day, I brought back the Mike Ditka has sausages. Smokes.
Yeah.
They're fucking
Probably
amazing.
fantastic.
They're amazing, and you have to buy them. And if you try to order them, it costs you a shit ton to have them shipped here.
Of course.
So he would get them by case, and then bring them on
And
carry on
I
and walk
have
them
a
back.
hot dog carousel that I
Oh,
got
really?
from a
That's
bar
cool.
that
Yeah.
I worked at when I was like 21, and it still works. So like,
Yeah.
we haven't done it in a while. We should definitely do it for a fight. But like, I would plug it in, and then he brought these sausages, and I think we were podcasting, and
Yeah.
But that was
You could
awesome
smell 'em
because
as
like
the show went on.
It was
We're
like,
like,
it was like recommendations he would tell
Yeah.
me, or like he would bring
Yeah.
food, and then like that's one of my favorite things is where like. When you connect with somebody on food and they know your palate and like if you know good places or like like when people like come into town, like at me diving into food more now, it's like when I would have a guest come in, I'd be like, oh, you got to go to Sailors for the hoagie or like go here and there, and if like spots, like it's very fulfilling to give
I was just gonna say
somebody
that.
to give somebody the pleasure of like
It's so satisfying.
having that experience with going out to eat.
It's
Yeah.
the Vienna Beef Factory. So if
Okay.
you go there, you can go right to the warehouse.
Oh, wow.
Literally go there and they make things, tons of stuff. But he brought back, because they're known to have like the red hot dogs, and then they put
Yeah.
strips of peppers and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Well, he got a bunch of them, wrapped them up in foil, and hopped on the plane and flew back. And he's like, "Check this out, man. These are like real hot dogs." And I've been in them when I go, "Yeah, Potsy's has that shit beat. You should have just went down the street." And he's just like, "No, you don't understand." I go, "Because it's red."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole thing over there.
But no, Chicago, I love the city itself. Food also.
I like Illuminati's.
I've never been.
Illuminati's is the
my
only
God.
place.
Everyone I talk to that I'm friends with,
It's so
are
fun.
No,
I love that deep dish.
I love Illuminati. They took me there, and we didn't know, and we're like, and we had like probably 6 or 7 people, and they're like, "Well, let's go and get pizza. We'll go to Illuminati's." And I
Yeah.
go, "Cool." I was like, "Let's just get like 2 pies," and he goes, "No, you need one."
Oh,
And I
yeah,
go,
you got the personal.
"I can eat a fucking pie myself. We want 2 pies,"
Yeah.
and we waited probably like over an hour.
Well, yeah.
And I was like, "What's happening?" And then
Yeah.
he comes out, and I'm like, "Oh, it's like a whole thing. Like it was so good that we took half of it home, well, the majority of it home." But the whole time we had in Chicago, literally, I felt I had such a great time because everybody was really nice. But every bar we went into, and it could have just been me that night, but I really felt that they're behind on their music tastes.
Okay.
So they were like rocking out the stuff that we don't
When
listen
was
to
this?
anymore. Oh, shit. Well, Pat and Trepida lived there. So that was what, 2000, maybe 2006?
Okay, so it was a
2007?
while back.
It was a
Okay.
while. But I mean, I went and I was like, it was like every bar we went into, I just remember listening and like people were going apeshit for shit that we don't even listen to anymore. Like
Yeah.
that was out by like 2 years. And I'm like, are we
Interesting.
in a fucking time machine? Like, is this like a new thing for them?
Interesting,
But
okay.
it was awesome because I said the whole
they
time,
probably
I
just
said,
had ZZO on.
no, yeah, how about it? But I told him, I said, literally everybody I met there, I had such a great fucking time. Everyone
yeah.
was nice. It was
I
just
know-
such
I know,
a cool
I-
fucking
I've never
place.
Or you have to
anyone
go
talk
for
bad
foodie. You
about
have to go
it,
to
yeah.
Fulton Market, that whole area. It's just a cobblestone street that has tons of
I gotta go.
restaurants.
I need to
bars.
just start flying.
But
But
every
you have to
eat
go there
come
and spend
home.
a week and then just go in the day and go
I
a
would
couple
put
of-
2 days.
My favorite
two heavy
restaurant,
days.
my favorite restaurants there. It's fantastic.
What's your favorite restaurant?
So far, that it's Alinea, and that's ultra fine dining. It's a 3 Michelin star restaurant. It's like a 20-course meal. They're into molecular gastronomy. The
Yeah.
chef, I think it was at one point, it was the number 7 restaurant in the world. It's always still in the top 50. If you go online, they're famous for this floating sour apple dessert, and it's a balloon. And so it's
So this is like hoity-toity.
different.
That's nice though.
So a gentleman like myself wouldn't be allowed.
How
in a
dare
place
you?
like that.
no,
on a
you could go
tuxedo,
there. You could go
sir.
there. But it's a whole thing. I mean, they
But
do.
how much does that run?
It's
A
pricey.
lot. Yeah.
yeah,
It's pricey.
But with food, with me, if I know what I'm getting, I don't care. It's the same thing
No,
with
if it's
buying
worth it.
art.
Well,
If
so,
you're
so
getting-
this is
if it's something I like, I'm going to pay it. Whatever
this
it
is prefixed. You pay beforehand. You have to,
Yeah.
like 3 months in advance. You go on this website. I think it's called Talk, and that's where you make the reservation. And then you can do lower level or upper top level. That has like, I think the top level has like maybe 15
That's so much
courses.
fun.
And the
So
bottom
much
level
fun.
has like 20 something. And it's much more interactive. You get to go in the kitchen and check out one dish.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's right around me. And
His
then,
name's Kevin. We're gonna call him Kevin.
Fucking Kevin.
Fucking
son
Kevin.
Of a bitch.
but yeah, it's quite interesting. It's all molecular gastronomy, which is what I love.
Yeah.
The whole science behind things, the whole deconstruction.
How'd you get into food like that?
Really, actually, watching Travel Channel
Yeah.
years back. And
That's when TV was good though.
Yeah.
With because
You
when
know.
the food stuff first came on the scene and it wasn't like over the top that they turned everything. Because I remember when the Food Network was the Food Network,
Yes.
and I first
So
started
I used to
cooking.
love to watch that.
Oh my god, I learned how to cook from Bobby Flay doing Boy Meets Grill.
right.
Those shows aren't around. Or maybe they are, but I don't watch.
just not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same at all. You used to be able to learn how to cook on the Cooking Network.
And I learned, and just restaurant chefs from, rest in peace to Bourdain.
Yeah.
But that's where it was, him traveling to all those cities,
Yep.
meeting all those chefs. And that's when I was like, all right, that's that person. He works there, etc. And so from there, and then Andrew Zimmerman and watching that. But I mean, that's when I was in high school.
yeah.
And,
No, those shows were awesome.
But I loved him talking to those chefs.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite chefs is also Jose Andres. He does Spanish food, but also like he brought kind of street food to like fine dining. And he comes out like with croquettes or croquetas, but it's comes out instead of a plate, it comes out in like a glass shoe.
Yeah.
And it's just like interesting.
Yeah, the way you
things.
do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm infatuated. I love, like, I'll watch fucking Gordon Ramsay. I'll go deep into it.
Yeah.
So when it's work, it's like really slow at work, just put him on, watch video. But I mean, he makes a lot of shit I don't want to eat.
Right.
But
But it's still interesting to learn about it.
Yeah, but I'm so close to just taking his master class because he has a master class.
Well, he has
on
a
it.
couple now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I would take those
dude.
courses. I think you could learn a lot from stuff
Well, see,
like
my
that.
biggest thing is I don't eat seafood at all.
Okay.
And a lot of his stuff
Yeah.
is seafood, and like I don't want to learn how to make that shit if I'm not going to eat it.
Thomas Keller is another awesome masterclass.
Yeah.
He has the French Laundry. That's in California. That's
Yes.
world-renowned restaurant.
Do you get into the Netflix shows? There's a couple good ones. I
Yeah.
like the Chef Show. I like
Well, that's the one with
Favreau and,
Roy Choi.
Roy Choi.
Yes.
And I thought it was interesting because
awesome.
that whole movie is loosely based off of Roy Choi, and he didn't want to do it because like
He was on the set the whole time.
Well. Yeah, but Favreau approached him and he was like, "I'm not doing this if this is gonna be some dumb thing." Because I have his book and I just always found him super interesting and like how he came up, and I love like his mindset and how he does something. And then like he has that one restaurant where you go in and it's like an Asian market. And
Yeah,
it just,
it's in Vegas. It's at Park MGM.
and then you go
Yeah.
through like the plastic things, and then you go through and it's a full restaurant,
Yeah.
but it's like not showcased.
I
as
haven't
that.
gone to it yet, just because it's
Yeah.
like we go to Vegas a lot. We normally stay at the Phoenician.
I've
a
yet
lot,
to
so-
go. Probably
Oh
next year.
That's talk about if you love food. That's another place
Yeah.
to go to. for
Well, that's
food.
what we're gonna go out there for. Is a friend of mine travels out, or Jared travels out there all the time, and he's always like, "Dude," because I don't gamble, and it's just like, I mean, I would if I'm out there, but I don't.
You don't necessarily have the desire to do.
No, not like I've already went out to Atlantic City with my friends just to like screw around, get drunk, and I'd be like trying to take a show in, and they're like, "Well, I'm gonna make my car payments by winning this." I'm like, "What? You guys are crazy!" But he was like, "Yeah, we can go out there for food." He's like, "Food alone." He's like, "Vegas is ridiculous."
It's oh my god, unbelievable.
Yeah.
You
I
have-
can't
you
wait
have-
to
you
go.
have everything from like good barbecue
Yeah,
spots.
and he knows like a ton of places where like there's like weird speakeasy stuff where there's like a secret menu and you have to say a code and then they bring you a thing out.
That may
Like,
be off the
I
strip.
love all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But
all kinds of stuff.
You
like
have, you have
that.
everything you want in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable,
But that show, I like that show. I feel like
and that's cool too. I do like that show. But I watched.
Favreau cares so much that like they could lose money on that and he still makes that show.
Oh, yeah.
And like you could tell how obsessed he is with food and like because he's not even interviewing, he's just asking questions because he's intrigued by
Oh
the
yeah,
cooking.
100%. While he's cooking,
Yeah.
he's asking. All right,
Well, the
yeah.
best part is when they start talking about like their sourdough. When
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I have a sourdough," and then they interview other guys going,
Yeah.
"Oh, you a sourdough too?" And they're like, "Oh, let me see." And then
Yeah.
because I got all that stuff, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna make sourdough because I can make pretzels and I'll make stuff.
Yeah.
And I looked into it, and I was like, I don't have fucking time.
Yeah.
Like to grow all this stuff and then pull a piece out. I don't have time to grow all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But he's into it. When he's hear him talk about it, he gets all excited.
But
Like,
he's so attentive and he wants to learn. That's
Yeah,
the thing,
and
which is
they
the
have
cool
like
part.
really cool stuff on there. I was excited when that show came out. I liked the movie, and then when I found out that it was like loosely based off of him and he hung out
yeah.
on set, I was like, well, no wonder
It was fantastic.
It was good.
And Chef's Table is also the other one.
Yeah, what's the one where they did the one I think somebody told me to watch? It might be Chef's Table where they did the barbecue guy who does the whole hog down south.
Yeah. Well,
what's that
yeah,
dude's
that
name?
guy's in Texas.
That family,
Yeah.
I
You're talking about the guy with glasses. He was black hair, glasses.
It was like his
thin guy.
father. Let me look it up.
There was one I watched a special on barbecuing that had the dude that was on Top Gear, and it was a barbecue
okay, I don't
competition.
know.
It's on Netflix. They have a barbecue competition. It's all Southern barbecue, and they do the whole thing. It's like a okay, you're going to be able to do this. You have a certain amount of time, but they brought on people, and then they highlighted certain chefs, and it was that guy that literally has been doing it forever. And
Yeah.
you watch him with the old cutting wood out back, and they're going to put the whole, and he's got those crazy steel grates that dude.
There's like an 80-year-old woman.
Yes, and I know she's on commercials now.
Oh, she is.
They started showing her when they thought barbecue, and you
Rodney
can see her in the
Scott.
back.
It was Rodney Scott's one. It is Chef's Table, but it's the barbecue one.
Okay.
Where it's a whole series for barbecue, and it's this lady like Tootsie.
Yes,
and
Tootsie is her
That's the
name.
one.
The
that-
Lennox Hasty, and then the guy Rodney Scott, which was my favorite.
Isn't that the one that part of the building was burnt down?
Yeah, like he grew up in it, and then like he became it, and like that's what he did after high school was
Yeah.
whole hog barbecue, and then he took his dad's business to a whole nother
There's
level,
another-
and then he won the James Beard Award.
Yeah. There's another dude. I
Crazy.
think
Who's the one that was in the Chef Show? Was one of the famous barbecue guys was in the Chef Show, and was showing Favreau how to, butcher.
I forget. I don't know.
But I know there's a
but I
guy-
like that crosses over.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But there's another guy too down south, real big, fat dude, and he just all you do is see him sitting down, and the stuff he comes up with, they said is ridiculous, and he's like, I think today we're gonna make, and like everyone says like his food's just so stupid. So he literally has a seat. He sits at the window, he orders, and he's the one that hands everything out. But he literally spends half of his life just barbecuing.
See, that's
And
awesome.
he knows that every day he comes up with new shit. Like, I'm just gonna mix this with this and let's see how it goes.
Oh yeah, and that's what I love about
What
food.
barbecue have you gotten into for just doing stuff for your page?
Believe it or not, on my page I don't have that much barbecue.
How dare you, sir?
I know. So I wish I took pictures when I was on my road trip. I went on, right after college. I went on a month-long road trip.
Good for you.
And yeah, thank you. With two of my other, well, thank my parents too. But with two of my other buddies, we did NL and AL Central baseball teams, and along the way we did tons of stops. But my favorite barbecue spot was Oklahoma Joe's. No longer called Oklahoma Joe's. It's called Joe's Kansas City, and it's just full functioning gas station. Half the gas stations are legit gas stations. You can walk in, buy your Cheez-Its, pretzels, whatever, and then the right side is like 15 chairs, tables, and then barbecue.
I love stuff like that. Rutt's Hut's kind of similar to that, where it's not a gas station, but like on one side you can buy hot dogs, and on the other side there's a bar, and there's a hole in the window, and you can get like frosted mug beer, and then order the hot dog through the window.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that.
No.
But that was my favorite barbecue spot. I wish I was taking pictures then, and I wasn't, because it was an amazing barbecue. But yeah, so that's probably my favorite barbecue. On my pictures, I probably have something. I think it's from Martin's. That's in Nashville. After that, I don't have that much, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Just because.
I like that you don't keep it just Valley, though. You know what I mean? Like you're
Well,
all
I tried
over.
to. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I try because I have tons.
Because people travel as well. So
Right.
even if you're in the Valley and your main support is here, me even talking to you about this is like, oh, I can check with, because you're so interactive. It's like you could message you and be like, hey, I'm going to Tennessee. Have you been to Tennessee? What do you got in Tennessee?
Well, that's what I'm saying about that girl today.
Yeah.
She lives in Jersey. She's going to a party in Scottsdale. She
That's
texted me.
awesome to follow somebody and get interaction like that.
I love just interacting with these
Yeah,
individuals.
it's
And then-
important. It's what keeps the page going,
Yeah.
and then making the page interactive.
Yeah, I mean, I asked advice because I have my buddy's getting married. He's going to possibly the bachelor party is going to be in Austin. There's an Austin foodie that I follow, talk to. I'm going to ask her for advice,
Yeah.
what places to go to, etc. And just she's talking to me also about places if she goes to the East Coast. So that's what I love to do and getting that. But yeah, barbecue, you can't go wrong.
No.
That's what I miss when I used to go down to my wife's grandmother lived down in Alabama. I would just go hard in the paint.
Alabama?
Like, what do we got? Where are we going for barbecue? And
Oh,
they're
is that
like,
when you used to bring? What did you bring back for me
That's
that one
my
time?
favorite place, Dimitri's.
What did you bring back? Sauce or
Sauce.
something?
Yeah.
Now, what places are good here?
For barbecue?
Yeah. See,
There's a
that's-
bunch of different stuff around here. There's Mad J's right in Nazareth.
Okay. So again, I don't venture this way usually. I'm in Easton, Bethlehem, Allentown. I mean, I'll travel here for barbecue if it's, you know.
I'm spoiled. A close friend of mine who recently passed, Chris Muma, he was obsessed with barbecue. He went to classes on barbecue.
And I love that he
did-
was good and he didn't know how good he was. So he'd be like, yeah, try this.
He was just
and we're like,
humble.
this is
He's
good.
amazing.
Yeah, he was humble, and
Yeah.
he never talked down on anyone else's barbecue. He was always like, there's always different versions of barbecue, but his sauce is probably some of the best.
Yes.
His pulled pork is probably the best pulled pork I've ever had. But he would take like master classes from award-winning barbecue guys. So like they would win first on brisket, and then he would take their class. He would fly out. You know, it's $500, 3 days,
Big pit
and he would
master
learn
dudes,
how to
yeah.
do
So
it.
he
So-
learned from the experts.
yeah. So like, I didn't realize how crazy those people got until I went to an event and I saw him take the skin off the chicken and then season it and put the skin back on the chicken. And I was like, yo, what are you doing? And he's like,
Yeah.
and I was like, you sick
And the fact
fuck.
that he went to the
Yeah.
butcher and picked out his
Yeah.
pieces that he was going to get.
But that's how I got connected with Sailor and Company in Hellertown, and that
Yep.
now they have their
The
thing. is-
location in Easton Market.
two of my really good friends, Muma and Mitch, Muma had Zombie Barbecue, and they used to do competition barbecue together, and then they split off and did their own barbecue. But they both have. I've gone to places for barbecue, and both of them have the best. Muma has the best pulled pork I've ever had, and then but like so I got spoiled. So like
No,
you know
I
what I
get
mean?
you. That's fair.
So for around here, you know, it's like I like Mad J's. He's a good friend of the show and whatnot. But I love Smokerhead. They came on the here, and
his brisket was
he's coming.
Yeah.
What's awesome now is because I'm starting to do food. My friends that do food, I'm now working with them.
Yeah, that's
So like I'm doing events with Mad J's, and then Mitch reached out to me from Smokerhead, and he's now getting into like a distillery thing, and they have a kitchen, so he's going to start doing a different smaller plates of barbecue. And he just recently hit me up, and he was like, how serious are you with doing this? And I'm like, I'm very serious. I'm not going to stop doing food. Like,
Yeah.
I let somebody take food away from me, who I worked for, and then, you know, I didn't think I would ever do it again. And luckily these guys kept pushing me down here when we watched fights, make us more food. And then I got the love of it back. And you know, and then Mitch recently just asked me to start doing events with him. And he's like, why don't we get together and like create our own menu? And like, you know, I'm super thankful that Mitch would even want to work with me. So, you know, around here, it's like, you know, it's like with having both their barbecue, it's really hard to,
Yeah, hard to pick one.
yeah, it's hard. It's
I
hard.
gotcha.
It's hard to find spots that are
Well,
as
like
good
you said,
as
there's
what I
so
had.
many. There's so
Yeah.
many different styles of barbecue.
Oh,
Well, Ridge
100%.
Runner came on.
Yeah.
He does his smoked cheeses, and he does the cold smoked cheeses, and then he had the beef sticks. I never had his barbecue, but everything I had from him was fantastic. And then there's somebody up towards Wing Gap. You know, I've had barbecue from all over. I mean, when I lived in Virginia for a while, that was the first time I ever had legitimate Southern barbecue. Because I'm used to like my mom's manwich.
Right.
So I'm like 22, 23. I'm down there living with my brother, and he took me to a place called Buzz and Ned's.
Okay.
And it was that was the first time I'd been into barbecue, and I looked at my brother and I remember going, yo,
Yeah,
and,
like-
and he goes, yeah, man.
Yeah, I've been
what
cheated.
is? I go, what is this? I remember clear
That's
as
the
day.
real
We were,
stuff,
we were
yeah.
in his apartment. I took a bite. I had a couple beers in me, and he's like, it's Buzz and Ned's, and I go, what is it? And he goes, it's Southern barbecue. And then that was the first time I ever tasted like good barbecue
Yeah,
sauce.
heaven on earth. Yeah.
Pulled pork cooked correctly.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, he's getting really good at smoking. A couple of my friends are starting to get
It's
into
an art.
smoking. Yeah, it's something I haven't dabbled in. I don't have.
It's you can go
The
so deep
facilities
with
to
it.
do
There's
it
so
down
many
there.
different ways
The
to do
type
it.
of woods, you know, how often do you
And then
turn
they're
the
like,
woods
oh,
and
well,
all
yeah,
that
I
kind of
use
stuff.
this, and I was just like, but
Yeah.
I get stuck in a rut because I pick a seasoning and I mess with it and I combine stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, I like this, so
Right.
then I'll eat it for a while. But then it's hard to come off that and go, well, now I have to do something else because
Yeah.
now I've had this so many times.
I never had Queen City barbecue. Have you ever had that? That's
Yes, it's closed though.
Yeah, that's
Did they close?
Yeah,
so they had a
COVID
very
or
yeah. I
yeah,
think so. So
I don't know if it's
well,
COVID related or not, but it closed
well,
during
from
that time.
from what I heard is that something to do with COVID. They couldn't stay open, obviously, but that was Ditka's steak shop. Ditka's had his restaurant there, they weren't making it, and they had some kind of lease, and I think they sublet it to those guys, and the lease was running out. Oh. So I
All
think
right,
the
now-
lease was going to jack up.
Now that we're talking, I have my barbecue spots. Grumpy's is one of the first places in the area. I had legitimate barbecue
they used to
way
show up
back
to your
in the
house.
day.
They show up to
Okay.
parties and do whole
Grumpy's,
pigs.
and then the other one is Point Phillips. Point Phillips over here. It's like hidden behind my parents' house. That's
Yeah.
a really cool old school bar. It's great to sit at the bar, but they also have like tables you can sit at. But they have like it. My grandmother made like mashed potatoes and brown gravy, corn, so you get all those sides, and then they do a really good job of smoking it. They do a smoked. Their wings are smoked. Point Phillips.
They've gotten so big
Yeah.
now, you can't just walk in. You have to
Point
make
Phillips,
You have to,
Grumpy's,
and
Mad
this is
J.
you have to make a reservation.
No. Point Phillips is
Bath.
Is that considered Bath?
Bath, yeah.
It's back in the woods. It's
I
cool.
belong- I
It's
belong-
where it's a nice
I
drive
belong
out
to
there.
the
Yeah.
Point Phillips Rod and Gun Club.
And then there's
shout
just
out.
kind of like this big old looking hotel, and then you
Yes.
park, and it's always crowded.
It used to be a rundown kind of bar that
Super
had,
nice inside.
Yeah, but it used to be bad. It was like a rundown bar that kind of had like a little shop, and then these people came in and redid the whole thing and turned to a barbecue spot.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
like
wow.
I've been here for a long time. People said it's really good. It's really good. I was like, it's
And
Point Phillips.
Where's
but now you go
Grumpy's?
on, you can't get in.
Allentown, Northampton,
Allentown.
Yeah, Allentown.
Get
You
off the
exit.
15th Street exit, make
Yeah.
a right. So
Okay.
Gr-
I used to go to
Grumpy's,
see bands there back in the day.
Grumpy's was really big with catering. You could go and get a whole pig, and they would just show up and give
That's
you all the
nice.
sauces, all
Yeah.
the stuff, and they'd have somebody go and do it all day
Yeah,
long.
of course. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I have to give it a try.
Yeah, like that. So what is your process of like, because you have your catalog of stuff, but like you obviously have to like kind of plan this out. So like,
Yeah, I
do
kinda
you
do.
think about like,
What,
so
what am I going to eat today?
yeah, like do you do it like monthly? Like how organized is it ahead of time where you're like, all right, cool. In August, I'm going to start trying to hit up a couple of these barbecue places. Do you contact places and let them know you're coming?
No,
Like,
I do zero of that. I don't
Yeah.
contact anyone. I don't say I'm a foodie. I don't do any of that
yeah.
stuff. The
I
only-
prefer not to be bothered when I go eat like shit like that.
Yeah,
like
I mean-
even when I go get a beer and someone like wants to talk to me about podcasting, I'm like, I'm just here for a beer.
Yeah, I mean, I would talk food. I mean, I don't mention anything about dining with Brooks unless they start seeing me get up from my seat and start taking pictures and they inquire. Then I'll tell them.
They're like, what are you doing, pervert?
Right, exactly.
What are you doing with your food, weirdo?
Why are you taking 15 minutes to take pictures and
Yeah.
not touching your food yet?
I do that. People get mad at me.
Are you with the health department?
Because it's like,
yeah, in disguise.
you need
Yeah,
to take the
exactly.
pictures before you eat it.
Of course, the camera eats
Yeah,
first. That's
yeah.
what it is. That's the saying.
And even when we were making the chicken sandwich, everybody was hungry.
Yeah, I saw
And
that. That
and
looks
I'm like,
fantastic.
I'm like, I got to take a picture. And they're like, hurry up. And then I had to cut it up for everybody. I don't
know.
know. I love food, man. It's my
But for
favorite
me,
thing.
I probably just look at my page and see, all right, I haven't had seafood recently, so let's go to.
Where do you go for seafood around here? I'm not a big seafood guy. I'm slowly getting into it more. We go to the Outer Banks every year, and every year Jer is like, every year tries to get me to do oysters, and I still can't do it. But like, I get into
That's something I can't touch.
yeah, I get into clams. I get into crabs.
See, I can't
into,
do clams,
yeah.
oysters. That's just something I don't do unless it's Oyster Rockefeller.
What about Clams Casino?
I've done it, but it's not my favorite.
Guys,
Yeah.
seafood, they're fucking aliens. All right? They look like aliens.
It's
They're not
but
eating-
if you go to the Outer Banks, it's fresh. You
if
know what
I
I mean?
can't
Like
run
it's
up
not.
to it and tackle it, I don't want to eat it.
But Third and Ferry's good. I've had Third and Ferry
Third and
because I went
Ferry's
in there
good.
and didn't know anything, and I'm like, I'll just get a fucking fish. What
Yeah.
is it? The fish sandwich on the fucking. They serve it in like a
talking about the surf and
newspaper.
turf burger?
No, it's.
We're just talking about fish and chips.
Yes, fish and chips.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
just do that if I don't know.
No, so I
because
love
you
fish
got to
and
have
chips.
good fish and chips.
Yeah, Third and Ferry is good. I would say Ocean right next door is pretty good. But for like when I say seafood for me, I'm going sushi. I'm always going to Rendezvous. I love that place. in
Do you
Bethlehem.
like what's it called right up the road? What's up? Hana sushi.
I've never been.
It's
No.
it. I don't get into sushi a lot. My friends who do.
Pacific Fusion's probably, I would
Hana's
guess. from what I
Hana's
heard.
up higher. Hana's probably
Yeah,
in the
I think
top 5 in the valley,
Okay.
which is surprising for having anything
Yeah.
in here in Nazareth besides what we're doing.
Interesting. I gotta.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Just
try
start
it.
saying stuff
Yeah, no,
like that.
there's Pacific Fusion down the street, and I don't know if they really. I guess they are letting people in there now, but for a while it was just go to the door. But
Right.
they have a legit dude making sushi,
That's nice.
and he does everything. And the food. The reason I like that is because I work in Allentown, so we'll get Chinese food, and I'll order from all these places, and most of them are just trash,
Yeah.
and it just tastes like crap. But that place, literally, like you get like chicken, you can taste it's like clean oil.
Yeah, that's
like it's
good.
fresh stuff. It's not. It's not just crap. Like it's a very nice place. They have it's a fusion of different kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So it does work out.
I would recommend Rendezvous. That's just the chef Zach. He's a great guy. I know because I'm really picky when it comes to fresh fish, and
It's got to be hard though. I mean, like I don't.
They get their stuff straight from
Yeah,
Japan.
but I'm saying is seafood, sushi, fish, because like it'd be the same thing as if I go somewhere and I'm like, all right, I want a burger. Like I know my burgers,
yeah.
I've cooked, and
Yeah.
like so like if somebody gives like I'll know looking at it when they present it to me if it was bought. I can tell you what purveyor it is. I can tell you if it's R&R frozen. I can tell you if it's coming from here. I know what they look like when they're supposed to look fresh and they don't. And then like that's what the chains do. What was the chain on 248 down here where they'd be like, oh, it's all fresh burger, and I'm like, that shit ain't fresh. It tastes fresh, but it's not. Like it just you could tell looking at it.
Five Guys?
No, not Five Guys. It was in
248.
not 248, 25th Street all the way down. They were there right after what was the bar where the girls used to wear like the schoolgirl outfits.
Tilted Kilt.
Tilted Kilt. Then it was Tilted Kilt and it went to something else. Everything fails.
I know
there.
exactly what
The
you're
only thing
talking-
that'll ever work there is a strip club. It's just my opinion. There's
because-
a hotel.
because
and it's
listen,
hidden.
It was called
Because
Craft and Barrel. No,
something.
Yes.
Something.
It was a
similar
pub.
to that. Yes.
But yeah, that place is such a weird
Their
location.
burgers looked good, but they were like, "Oh, these are fresh." I'm like, "These burgers are not
Dude,
fresh.
they-
This is fucking frozen."
Yeah.
Yes, it's Black Angus, but it's a Black Angus
Yes.
frozen patty.
Right.
And whatever.
They-
I'm not
that-
trying to shit
no.
on
now,
people.
now it's a golf place.
Yes.
What? Don't
So
tell
now-
me that.
So now they made it to a golf simulating place where you can have
Yeah.
food and everything else. Yeah,
You said golf or goth?
golf.
Oh, I was scared. I thought
No,
there was
sorry,
like
sorry, golf.
wicked
Goth is like,
chicks.
whoa.
I was like
No,
wicked
golf.
chicks. They just have
No,
the
it's
craft
called
running in the
X-
background.
It's called
yeah.
X Golf now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do there? Is it like golf simulation?
Yeah, just simulation. I think.
Is
And
there beer?
Yeah, they have restaurant, beer, all that. I mean, I've
I'll
never
go check
been yet.
that out.
But yeah,
See, the thing is, they have a good location you can see from
It's
the
an
highway.
excellent location.
From the highway, you can see. But to get to it, no one knows how to get there.
I mean, it's not that hard though.
No, but I'm saying is to go through all that stuff, like people just, it's too much
I
for
will
people
say
to
there's
do.
no signs. Once you get off the exit, there's
Yeah.
no signs to say
And-
make a left.
and
to
that's
do
why
this or that.
that's why nothing lasts there. Because when it was Don Problems had it was a lot of stuff over there.
Don Pablo.
Yeah, it was Don Problems.
No, I remember
Yeah,
when
it
it
was
was.
Don Pablo's.
I remember when it was that for a
Yeah.
long time. But that I would say that lasted.
Listen,
though.
I don't know if you guys know, but I'm making a really serious push, and I'm filling stuff online. I want to bring back Chi-Chi's. I used to love Chi-Chi's. and they're-
Chi-Chi's was like the first place to like publicly have a virus.
That's
that
right.
they
We're bringing
had.
it back.
But they have hepatitis and they
Guys,
spread it through
I
the
have no
valley.
idea.
It can
Yes,
be-
it is.
It can be so
and
much
that's not
better now.
allegedly. That was in the paper, and I was young enough to know. I didn't know
Yeah.
what hepatitis was, and
Yeah,
my
but
parents
you
were
could
like,
go there and
"We're
they
never
had-
eating there again."
Have you ever had their frozen ice cream?
No.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
glorious.
there's
And
a
their
reason.
bathrooms were 30 degrees, and they'd play extremely loud.
Yeah, and the place
guess
was a.
what?
We're gonna
petri
bring
dish.
it back.
You
Come on,
try-
who's in?
You try.
Who's
You
in,
try.
guys?
Yeah, I'm good. You could probably find their food at Sam's Club frozen.
We're gonna bring it back.
Well, I never ate there. I never ate
No.
there. That was when like malls were popular.
So
Right, yeah, that's right. I remember. That's
Yeah,
really
because it was like
kinda-
you were. Oh, it was over by the Lehigh Valley Mall.
that was when I
Okay.
figured out when I'm
Because you
like,
remember
oh, all
back
that
then,
food's the same.
because back then it was like you went to Lehigh Valley Mall and they're like, "What's restaurants here?" Because that's where
Yeah.
it's over by
Showtime
Golden
Pizza.
Corral and
Yeah.
Showbiz.
Showbiz Pizza
They had the
or whatever.
rat in the dumpster.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Yeah, you're a little younger. That's where they'd have arcade games, and then you would go get pizza
So
there.
it turned into listen. I remember this time.
Animatronic
we would go there,
animals
We would
playing-
go there, and it was Show
playing
Big
for
Pizza,
you.
and they were bears.
Yes.
And they would play music, and you'd get pizza, and they had arcade games. And then one day we went with like me and my brother and my dad or something, and we went there, and I was like, all these games suck. Everything's like for tiny little kids now. It was all this goofy stuff. And then it was just like a week later, like, hey, now we're the one with the rat. What's the new kids place?
Are you talking about Chuck E. Cheese?
Chuck E.
Chuck E.
Cheese.
Cheese, yeah.
They changed the name of Chuck E. Cheese, got tossed out the bears, and now there's things and everything on the screens. It's like subliminal messaging, and it's like, you want to get another pizza, don't you, children? Tell your kids. And it's like, no, I don't. I don't want another pizza. You should get a soda.
I like their pizza. I never hated it. It was probably like, it was just that pizza that you would always see like the black marks, like it was like fake.
Sure.
Fake oven burns. Like it was so artificial.
Perfect.
But I never hated their pizza. I
love
just
Showbiz.
remember being a kid being like,
I
"We
don't
get
like-
pizza."
I don't like
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese. No way.
Oof. I remember going there a couple times when
Chuck E. Cheese is
Christ.
horrible.
I don't remember. I was like,
What is there
6,
now?
7.
Chuck E. Cheese is still over there.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
Chuck
I wonder
E.
if we
Cheese.
could,
And
I wonder if we could rent the whole place out and they let us have beer there.
Listen, I went there. No, just go to what's the video game place?
Dave and
Dave and
Buster's.
Dave and
Buster's,
Buster's is there now.
It'd be a better vibe at Chuck E. Cheese.
No, you know what happens at Chuck E. Cheese? Fist fights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
a
believe
lot
that
of
one.
fist fights.
Yeah, we rent it out. We can do something cool over there.
Yeah, there's Chuck E. Cheese, Dave and Buster's, all
Yeah.
the places by
Do you like food
Apple
like
there.
that?
what, Chuck E. Cheese?
Just like Dave and Buster's
Little
and
Caesar's
like
Pizza. What's up? Pizza.
I mean,
pizza.
no, I mean, listen, I don't mind going to bar food like
In a
that.
pinch.
good, because I feel like I got
But
into
do
food.
I do it often?
No, but like I also stopped looking at food as being like shitty. Like I
Yeah.
stopped being like, you know what, that food sucks. I just feel like there's a lane for everything. And what happened is I
100%.
started eating so many hot dogs. People started arguing with me about like, oh, their hot dogs suck, and I'm like, no, they don't suck. They have a roller dog, so like their dog's on a roller. Like I love gas station.
Are you
dogs.
when you're saying things like you're saying as far as Yakos is what you're referring
No,
to?
no, no, no. I'm just saying
Nate.
like.
My
yeah,
buddy
Nate, he did
loves
say
Yakos.
that. He did say.
But I'm just saying,
Nate,
like,
by the way.
I've had so many
Potties.
conversations with people where I get tired of arguing with people over what's better now.
Right.
And it's actually why one of the reasons I stopped doing Food Fight is because I want to change the format because I don't want people to argue about food anymore because everything has a lane. Like, there's a lane where. I enjoy gas station hot dogs, and I also enjoy, going to Dave and Buster's and eating food like that. Now, would I go there every day, and is that my go-to? No,
No.
but there is a place for that style food.
there is, but
And I feel like you have to be that open-minded to food.
No, but
to
what makes
really
me mad
enjoy
is
food.
people will go, "Hey, let's all get pizza," and they're like, "Oh, I got this. I'll get some pizza. I'll get some great pizza," and they order like Pizza Hut, and I go, "This isn't really pizza, though."
Yeah.
You gotta
Like
go brick
for
oven.
what you paid for this shit, we could have got like real shit where they actually made it in front of you, and they're like, "Yeah, but this is good. It's good when you're drunk." Or you're just needing a pinch. But if you're going to say, I'm going to go get real good pizza, I'm not getting.
What's your go-to pizza
That's it.
spots around here?
Right now, I mean, my favorite is Mario's at the Silk Mill. Mario's Italian Eatery. That's right next to County Seat,
Yeah,
and it's right there. I love it. They have a oven right from Italy.
yeah.
They got it shipped in, and I love it.
I've never been.
Fantastic.
Have you had any of the pop-up stuff? We had the Nice Slice on.
So good.
His stuff's really good,
haven't-
and Local
You need,
Stone's
you need to
another
go
one.
I
nice
haven't-
nice stuff. His nice stuff. It's so freaking.
I haven't. No, I have not yet. They
Local Stone
we
turned
follow
me into
each
the
other.
pop-ups. That's where I started. That's one of the main reasons I started getting into pop-ups was I ran into Local Stone and I had his pizza on his back porch, and he does everything out of his house, and it's a very unique experience. It's worth driving to Macungie, I mean, people are close to Macungie, but I say that as being a 40-minute drive. I ate so much of his pizza, I invested in buying a pizza bag, so it's better when it comes back here. Like
That's
he was like,
awesome.
"Yo, it's like $15 on Amazon or whatever," but like. I really started going. I mean, I grew up on pizza. Nazareth has 50 pizza places.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing too is I grew up being like, this place sucks, that place sucks, and I'm like, you know what? Like every place has the best. In my opinion, like Pizza Joe's has some of the best Sicilian in my opinion, and it could hold up to stuff I've had in the city. And then you have Sicily's, who in my opinion has some of the best margarita pizza I've ever had. And then even Toscana has a pizza that like we eat down here. And then even like the one place that doesn't really get a lot of clout that's behind Toscana,
Bella Napoli.
Bella Napoli or whatever it is. I've ordered a weird pizza from them that Tim got that was phenomenal. And then Toscana has a grandma pie. So like I just try and find things
There's a
like
bunch
there's
of
got to
different-
be one thing on the menu that doesn't suck.
Well, of course.
Like you know what I mean? So it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's how I look at food
Well,
now where I'm like, you
yeah,
know
that-
what? Like no, that place doesn't suck. What I like there is this. And then I stopped shitting on places. And then my appreciation for food and then looking at things like what you do has changed where I'm not looking at it and being like, oh, well, what does he know? Or you know what I mean? Like it really, if you start looking at things differently and have a different mindset, you really are allowed to just take things in that you would be missing that were like, you know, like I don't know you and I don't know your opinion, but I trust it because of just having that open mindset where I'm like, wow, this guy goes to all these different places and, you know,
I'm a
there's
firm
different
believer
things.
of expanding your palate.
Absolutely.
And aside from just doing that, I think trying different foods from different cultures, you learn more about the people, you learn more about that culture itself. And I think that's ultimately what food is about. Especially, not that I do it often, but especially when it comes to actually cooking and then actually presenting it to the table. Just that whole idea of you making something, giving it to others, and then them appreciating it, you appreciate doing it, and you love it. But it's all about, when it comes to now restaurants and food, pizzas, there's so many different variations. Just what you're in the mood for. Just try something.
Because everything's so different. Where it's like now, it's like a lot of people do the Neapolitan bar style.
gonna say, yeah,
dude.
it's
What's
a lot of
what's in the
Neapolitan.
Eastern Circle? Is that Stoke?
Yes, that's what
Yes,
it is. Yeah.
that pizza's awesome. They have great food there. The atmosphere is a lot different than other places. It's got more of like a Brooklyn city vibe to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
one of
yeah.
my favorite places to just hang at the bar.
Yeah, you got Stoke, and then also super close to that, at the market, you have, I'm drawing a blank now on the plate, Scratch. That's another pizza place.
I haven't had their pizza yet. I've
Yeah.
ordered beer there. I didn't know like the
Oh, yeah, they
pizza's
have, what is
legit.
it? It's Shawnee, right?
Yeah. It's funny. I just get beer because every time I go there, I just get the sailor's sandwich.
Yeah.
And because I pick up hamburger meat from there, so it's like every time I'm there is usually at least every other week, and
Okay.
then so I'm always just getting that sandwich. But I'm gonna start getting other stuff. I didn't know that their pizza. Do you like their pizza? What style
Yeah, it's
is
good.
it?
It's actually good. I mean, it's thin crust for sure. And
I like thin crust.
Yeah, no, I love it too. I mean, unless you're talking about Umalnati's again, but that's
Yeah.
I can't.
Is that the Chicago
that's-
place?
that's
What's-
almost-
what's
that's almost
around
not-
here that's similar to that?
Nothing.
nothing?
That's what I
Yeah,
said.
nothing.
That is not even. I wouldn't even. It's on the borderline even calling it pizza at that point. It's
Yeah.
literally a big.
I mean, don't say it to a New Yorker because they think that's like.
No, listen. When I live in New York, and everybody said, "Oh, New York pizza's the best." Everywhere else I went, I go, "This sucks." Every place sucked. I went to the ones with the brick oven pizzas. Hey, they're brick oven pizzas, and I go, "Yeah, but your pizza sucks. Like your dough's fucking old. Like you can." I worked in a pizzeria for years.
Yeah.
So I know how you screw up.
Yeah.
And there was very few, and I went to you go like to the original pizza places,
Right.
and it's just nostalgic, and you understand where it comes from, and it's just everything's different. But I think we talked about when the Nice Slice guy was on. When I was in Scranton, I went to some place when it was like the sauce was like it was a sweet sauce, and it was not. It was
Yeah.
strange. It threw me off, but no, Nice Slice. I'm going there. They're at Seven Sirens the end of August.
He brought the. Did you
21st.
see he started doing the vodka pie?
I told him.
I
he
love
had to.
vodka sauce.
So listen, my goal was he's
So
gonna.
he just does a food. So he just does food truck then, right now.
he just
He
has
just
an oven.
he brings the oven, sets up 2 or 3. I think he sets up 2
And
tables,
he can
then
do it. He
brings
can
his
he can literally
outside
do a
ovens.
pizza in like a
gas.
minute, like
Yeah.
2 minutes or
Yeah.
something.
So
So
he uses that uni, right?
I don't. What did he bring down? He came down
It
here
was
and
a
he
huge-
set
I
up
forget the
and he
name of
made
the
us
oven. I
like
have it
7
saved.
pies. I was like cutting clips today
It
because
was
like I had
freaking
time,
awesome.
so I went back
Yeah.
and was like cutting out like stuff from episodes to like put up on
Right.
IGTV and stuff.
So no, the
and I was going
21st
through
he'll
that.
be
and
at Seven Sirens.
We ate pizza
Okay.
for like 35 minutes.
Yes.
That's how much pizza he brought.
It's fantastic.
It's really good.
So
I
I-
like his pizza. It's super different.
But I was
I
gonna-
like that he's doing different pizza.
I was gonna go to Seven
yeah.
Sirens on the 21st and just walk up when he's not looking and just go. I'll take a vodka pie because it's not on the list.
now he made it. Now it's called the Big Dog.
I mean, it sounds fantastic.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was really good.
No, I never
I
had
kept telling him I
Mario's.
hated him because it
Yeah.
was so good.
I mean,
What's the other one that we used to go to when we very first started this podcast? We were trying to get him to sponsor. Brick had a really good
they're my,
spicy
next,
pie.
they're my next door neighbors.
Right there in Bethlehem. The original studio was right next to because it's Brick. Then up the street is what Billy's on the corner
Yeah,
there.
Billy's downtown.
And then
Yeah.
next to that is like a Wachovia or
We
a
were in the
Wells
basement.
Fargo.
It was Wachovia.
There's a big office building there
Okay.
now. I don't know what's there anymore.
It was
And then we were
Wachovia.
in the bottom.
We were in the
Oh, okay.
basement. Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
They just
what's great
charged a
about
premium rent. They were terrible
the
landlords.
pies, you can also just do so much with it,
Yeah.
which is also awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mario's I love. I'm also a Steve's guy with their what's it called now? I just lost my train of thought with Sicilians.
Yeah.
And then Pizza Doro on Cantel Street I also love.
Yeah, I just love trying different stuff. Like everybody's different. Like I gave up on like arguing with people too. Like I love Doughboys pizza. Like I grew up on Doughboys. It's a little different. It's got a different crust. It's got the cheese is heavier on it. It's a totally different pie than anything around here at all. I would say Doughboys.
that's considered deep
nothing.
dish.
Yeah, nothing is like Doughboys around here at all. The Goats new. They got awesome pizza. They're coming on. I think this month at some point. But they got great little. They
Nice.
bring out the dishes and
Okay.
that's worth trying.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that? What it used
They got
to
a
be?
Giacomo's one there. It used to be Devries. Yeah.
Okay.
It was just you
It was a race car bar.
Yeah.
It was
But they
literally
had
like a race car
they had a
bar.
terrific pork roll sandwich.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
But now they took it over, and the dude's like legit. He's actually a really good cook, and
Well, that's good.
they're doing a lot of cool stuff. Yeah.
Did you get into like finding hamburgers and like different sandwiches and stuff, or
I mean, when it comes to hamburgers or just sandwiches, I like to make my own.
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't go out anywhere for sandwiches. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Again, if I'm going out, I'd rather on my page.
like a dinner?
Yeah, I'd rather do
Yeah.
sample a bunch of dishes and do that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I may do an Insta story or a reel on a sandwich that I make.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually chicken cutlets or I mean, We haven't done it in a long time, but we go to a Jewish deli closer to Philadelphia, too. Jaime's or Ben and Irv's. And then usually my go-to sandwiches, hot corned beef, hot pastrami, hot salami. Then I add melted cheese, roasted peppers, or a hot pepper spread. And then
I'm so hungry.
And then that's all. And then that's on. And then I add coleslaw.
Yeah.
Sour tomatoes, sour pickles, and then vinegar cabbage slaw. And then on top of that, Thousand Island dressing with a little bite of balsamic glaze. And then that's my sandwich.
Yeah.
So that
and then you can make
Where did you
16
grow up?
sandwiches
Did you
out
grow
of
up
that.
around here?
I'm local. My parents
Yeah.
are from Philly.
But where did you get it? Like what I'm saying is, for something a sandwich of that specific, you had to have gone there younger or traveled.
No,
How
I
do you
mean,
get into that sandwich?
Well, I mean, that is my own creation, but I mean, Jews, we just love Jewish delicatessens,
Yeah.
and hot corned beef sandwiches are usually the go-tos. With
What's the one in New York that everybody goes to?
Well, you go to
Katz.
Katz,
A friend of mine
that.
took me there when he lived in this city.
Katz is good. So their cuts was also, I didn't say this earlier, my dad actually worked in the delicatessen for tons of years, paying his way through college, and that's a whole different story. So he's used to deli meats and all that type of stuff. But Katz, their meats are a bit thick.
Yeah.
Philadelphia styles
I like
sliced
thin.
thin.
Yeah,
It's
I like
sliced
thin. My brother gifted me with that slicer over there, and I've been.
Oh, wow.
It's
Yeah.
like a legit slicer that I didn't realize was in his wife's family because they used to own a
Okay.
butcher shop. But having that, because the other one I have is basically like a bandsaw for like a table saw.
Oh, you just-
so like
yeah, you cut
it's
right
like
through that.
plastic and like
Yeah.
it's you can't get anything. And then like I was cutting the onions, I was cutting cheese for the burger pop-ups, and then when he gave me that, it's like you can dial it in and like be like, oh, it's 4 is the setting for
Yeah.
the cheese and whatnot.
No, so I mean, I think just over time, just in the past, when I would always visit my grandparents, we would always stop by, get delicatessen.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I just added my own stuff just because I love. The bigger the sandwich, the better. Let's just put
Yeah.
let's just put it that way.
What did they have in the casino for a while? Was
that
it
that was also
the Carnegie- Carnegie-
That was the Carnegie
yeah.
Deli.
Carnegie.
When
yeah.
you
Did you
when
eat
you-
there
I mean, once.
at the casino?
You could get,
Did
like,
you
9
think it was
sandwiches?
the same experience?
I went to also the one in New York.
So
Yeah.
did I went there too.
Again, talk about different styles. I'm used to Philadelphia delicatessen, so I like that thin cut. I liked all that stuff. So I'm not.
But did you like the Carnegie Deli in the Sands?
To be honest, I don't remember. That's just me.
Yeah,
'Cause
I didn't think
was-
it held up.
It was
I went for
years
my
and years
birthday,
years
and
ago.
like they had whatever. But I think Jarisitz took me to the Carnegie Deli as well.
In New York, yeah.
Yeah, like he was like, "Hey, I'm leaving New York. You should really take the opportunity that I have of living here. I'm going to take you to some places."
Yeah.
So I drove in and met up with him. I had 2 friends who did that, and it was both New York City. Like they were like, "Hey, I'm like live in a really cool part of New York,
it's
and
a
I'm
great
leaving
city.
next year. Like you should really take the opportunity to come down." And I did, and I had it, and then I went when they first opened for my birthday, and I just felt like they made the sandwich and put it in
It felt
a fridge.
It felt commercialized.
like all the stuff was
Yeah.
good, but
Yeah.
it wasn't made.
No.
like the
It was-
ones in
it
New
was-
York, it's like they're not putting shit in fridges
You know what it
'cause
was?
it's coming off
Yeah,
and it's
it's-
going.
it was-
You're
boom, boom,
waiting.
boom, boom.
Yeah,
It was if you took the Carnegie Deli and Subway
And drove all the-
Subwayized it.
I
And you're
felt-
like, hey, look, it's
I felt like
fresh.
it was like if you took it and you had it in your car and drove all the
Yeah.
way home, and then put it in your fridge and then ate it the next day.
Yeah,
like it was
I mean,
like
I mean,
ah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's a casino,
casino,
in
yeah.
Bethlehem.
But then those places have their own little, and like the same thing is what I go back to is like the Emerald's Burger thing. It's not a great burger, but it holds its own place for
I
being in
guess,
the
yeah.
casino.
Their steak place, I used to get the fuck wall.
The foie gras, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was beautiful.
I love, foie gras is good.
Yeah.
I've had cotton candy foie gras. So that's
Really?
at this place, Chef Andres.
Yeah.
And Bizarre Meat. If you go to Vegas for a steak place, it's out of this world. Bizarre Meat.
So you visited places of like known, like you go to places like you like a chef and you go to his restaurant.
I mean, I don't search out.
No, but
the
I'm saying like
destination
you
for a
have
chef.
done stuff like that. Like I've always wanted to go to Bobby Flay's in New York, and
Yeah.
I just never went.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you can say I've kind of done that. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm in a city and that chef that I love is there, I'm
Yeah.
definitely trying to go to that restaurant just to check it out. But yeah, Bizarre Meat is the name at the steakhouse in Vegas. Highly recommend. If you want,
I can't wait to go.
If you want like a whole new experience,
Yeah.
totally different experience. Like foie gras cotton candy. I mean, it's a stick of foie gras, and then it's surrounded by cotton candy, and it just like melts in your mouth. And the flavor profiles is so different and so unique. I mean, when you see that, usually. But yeah, or go to Cut. That's like more traditional. That's Wolfgang Puck's.
Yeah.
steakhouse.
I see a lot of him.
I like following
on
him too.
Netflix.
He's gets pissed off. I like. I do. I think I lean towards chefs that yell at a lot of people. But he's a good cook.
What's the purple one?
I think it's lavender.
Lavender gin lemonade.
Yeah.
Oh, don't give him gin. Nobody likes fucking gin, Mike.
That's good. I love
gin
gin.
is-
Nobody
gin is
likes gin,
fantastic.
Mike.
I love gin.
No, he
I love
loves
gin.
it to the point that everyone hates him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's not very nice when he drinks gin.
No, I just tell Pete there's no more filter. There's no more. It's just
I mean, it's
like,
okay.
you know,
Gloves off, Mike. Here we
All
go.
right, there you go.
I don't mind gin, Mike.
Yeah.
Everyone else does not. I love gin. What was it like growing this and doing this, and because it's got to be a point where you start seeing the numbers go
results.
up. Well, I mean, not even the results, but it's like just seeing the following grow.
Yeah.
grow. What's that like for you to be putting yourself out there? Because, I mean, it's an idea. You have all these pictures. You're like, I don't know. Because everyone's always self-conscious before you start
100%.
something.
100%.
So then when you start it and then you start getting... Because there's not a better feeling as than when you put something back out there that you're passionate and you're in love with and it's an idea that you're creating and you get the results you want or positive feedback back. What was that like where you start like... looking at this, be like, yo, like this is fucking growing. Like, where's this going? Like,
Yeah,
it's got to be weird.
I was quite surprised because originally, like when I said I started in November of 19, went to March. I wasn't getting, the gratification. I maybe had like 30 followers and that was it. Maybe 20 likes. And then it was awesome to see once I got to like I would say like 300 followers and just started going and going and going. I'm like, well, okay, there's really a market for this. People actually appreciate the dishes that I'm showing, whether it's again fine dining or some bar food or whatever. And it's just an awesome feeling seeing that. And I would say that probably around like 300 to 400 is when I started seeing the jump.
Yeah.
And then it took off right after that.
What's that like to wake up to your phone and you just see like,
I mean,
500 notifications?
So I wish I could say I got that, but in the morning it was maybe like for a couple of months, every morning it was maybe 150
That's
to 200.
still a lot. I mean, in my opinion, because I'm still
yes.
growing my shit.
But then
and, like,
remember, and like as we were talking previously, it's also a lot when I talk about putting in the work. I then every notification, if it was a new follower,
Yeah, because you talk to everybody.
or a new person that liked the pick, I then DM'd him directly and said, thank you very much for your support, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, people don't do that.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. So that talk about the work aspect. That took a lot.
Hours.
I would say in the morning it would take like about an hour and a half. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was for a long time.
Yeah,
But,
that's like constant. You know what I mean? Because now it's like it's not like, hey, thanks for this. They're like, oh, hey, thank you. What's up? And then now it's not. It's conversations. It's not.
Yeah, and that was awesome. So seeing that growth right there was fantastic. But that's probably when it started, around the 300-400 range for me at least. And then since then, it's just skyrocketed, like I said, up until when I got to 6,000. Then things started slowing down because of this new Instagram algorithm.
Yeah, they do a lot of weird shit like that where they start slowing you down.
It's aggravating because now all they care about is Reels and TikTok and Insta stories. And I don't have TikTok yet. I don't even know how to do Reels. Let's put it that way. I'm not that great in it.
I only know how
I don't know how to do anything on Instagram. People send me, I can't.
I only know how to fuck around with Reels a little bit because I edited heavy. I was trying to do stuff on Instagram before Instagram made it easy to do editing on. So like I would have to edit crap and then would spend out time down here and then like figure out ways to move the songs around. So they used to not let you use. You couldn't have licensed music on there at all.
I know.
So like you would have to start the song like 8 seconds from the beginning, or like you had to play it middle of the song. So there was like things that I used to have to do in order to not get content pulled. And then now it's like you can cut a commercial, you can use licensed music, you can do all this stuff. And like when Zach told me about doing Reels and I switched over to Reels, and I think the first one I did was a burger, and I used that "Let's Get Down to Business" song, and like it went over 5,000. I was like, what? I mean, but they cap you on that shit though. Like they slow you down. Like they definitely fuck with your social media.
Yeah, well, I know, for example, I mean, not to get too much in depth with that aspect, but I noticed, for example, for a while, my stories, I used to get maybe a couple hundred people view my stories, and for a long time, it was only then like 40 people. And
It's
the
weird.
same 40 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew something was up. Obviously, I used to average anywhere between maybe like I would say 375 to 500 likes. Now I'm only getting maybe 185 to 250.
And there's no rhyme or reason as to why they do it.
It's just they're just for why they do it. I'm
Yeah.
just my stuff is not getting showcased out to everyone, but so you got to work around it, do more reels, and I did
Yeah.
like 1 week I did 3 reels, and prior to that week I was doing reels and maybe was only getting 300 plays. I did a reel from Top Cut. I did a reel from I went to this golf course. I forget exactly where it is, but it's in Pennsylvania, and then I did a couple reels in Arizona, and it got 12,000 views.
Yeah.
And it maybe hit 8,000 within the first hour. So they're changing their format to dedicate people who do reels, TikToks.
But then I've already done like 3 reels in a row, and then they start declining because you're doing too many reels.
So I never had that problem yet. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I've seen like the numbers go, and then if you don't use a trending song,
Well, that's also the algorithm. They pick up on the type of song.
Yeah.
They pick up. Also, I noticed for me at least, post during the week, do a reel during the week. I would say like around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. is
Yeah.
when I noticed the jump in place.
It's weird how like because when I had an intern down here, and she was younger, and then that's the first person that started getting into my analytics, and she's just like, look, like these are your heavy times. This is when you need to start posting that you're dropping things, and this is when you need to post this. And then that's when I started paying attention to like how much the time matters when you drop shit, and then like you're it's only going out to a specific audience, and then like they're only getting a specific amount of things, and then you do have to pay to do shit, and you know it just gets it. That whole thing is a frustrating thing that not a lot of people talk about, but you can get. And then I've had friends who are on TikTok, and they have, you know, Kelly's almost at 500,000 followers, and
That's insane.
every other week they're taking her shit down because people are reporting her.
Oh,
So then
really?
she's got to put, you know, contact them. Maybe I need to start another account. Like there's all this nonsense that like people who don't do social media all the time never realize.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like anything. You see the final product.
Yeah.
You don't realize all the stuff that it takes to do, and then also sometimes all the struggles that you have, whether this is breaking this code or whatever. I mean, I've also gone. This happens a lot with Instagram. They think you're a robot. You know, I've gone.
Did you post too much?
That, or
If you post the same thing, put the same hashtags, like they'll slow you down doing
the
that shit.
hashtags, or it's the frequency in which you have activity per day. Like whether it's liking too many pics or commenting too much, they think you're a robot because you're doing it so quickly and the amount that you're doing per day. I mean, I got banned one time. I got banned for I think it was like 24 hours, 48. I reported it saying I'm not a robot. Obviously, I'm a real person. You can look at my page. Got banned. Came back on. Let's say a couple months later. Got banned then for like 3 days, and then they still don't tell you what you do wrong. Then I got banned for 2 weeks, and it's just like you can't do anything, and it's just whatever. So Instagram does all these things that just people don't know because all they see is the.
I still think it's the best platform to work off of.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it because you get to do your pictures.
Yep.
And then in addition to that, you can have your comments and
you can dump it off to Facebook if you want to.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
that's
can-
all I do
you can
anymore.
share-
I'm
you can share
super
everything.
disconnected from Facebook. Every once in a while, I'll put up some super bizarre like dating thing where I'm like looking for a specific style of women, and then it's really bizarre, and then everything else is just literally Instagram posts.
I stay off Facebook because it just pisses me off.
It's terrible. It's
'Cause-
terrible.
No, I've just
There's
found
too much
out, especially
arguing and
towards COVID, I found
yeah.
out how stupid people really are.
Oh, yeah.
and I don't want to deal with it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I've known you for years, and I realize you're stupid. I don't want to watch this anymore because I probably won't talk to you.
I love Instagram.
It's
It's
fantastic.
definitely. I love the editing aspect that they allow you to do. I even love like because I cut all these things today, and like, you know, I used to cut them down to a minute, but I was like, there's more here, so I just kind of let them ride, and I'm like, all right, well now I can take these clips that are like a minute to 7 minutes.
yeah. So you're doing IGTV.
Well, now I can drop IGTV,
Yeah.
which is so now you're getting your minute clip, but then it's going to go to IGTV, and then it's like then I can showcase them and call them studio shorts, and then I can take all those and also dump them onto my YouTube, and then like my buddy Zach, it's like once you hit 1,000 subscribers, then you can start making money.
Yeah.
And like Zach pulls a couple $100 a month, and I'm like, dude, I drop so many podcasts and so much stuff that if I did podcasts and shorts and dumped all that onto my YouTube, and then when we move the studio and I do the cooking show, it's like I could be making
that'd be fantastic.
over $1,000 a month just coming in off of YouTube, just to dump back into the studio.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, there's definitely like ways to get around it and all that stuff. Where do you see what you're doing going? Like, do you see it growing
Well-
into doing more produced stuff? Do you like keeping it as simple as it is now and just kind of keep growing it? And then, like, you know, do you have a specific number in your head? I mean, do you plan on turning your audience interactive and trying to do different things with it? What do you want to do?
I eventually still definitely doing Instagram and continuing. I definitely will do more reels and IGTV once I know how to keep the editing process. But in the pipeline, I have a website that will also then go more in depth of the restaurants I visit, the type of dishes that I'm eating at that restaurant.
It's a good idea.
Just to guide individuals when they're asking me these recommendations. That will be on the website, and it will go much more in depth. So I have that in the
It's a good
pipeline.
avenue then to work with resorts, restaurants. It's like then you could be like, look, I'm taking this, and then we're gonna take them here, which is gonna take them to your webpage.
That's the ultimate goal, is to have.
You could be getting flown around to resorts and doing this shit for free.
I mean, that'd be fantastic.
Not for free, but like,
No, I know what you mean.
You could be making money. And I watched somebody do that.
No, it used to be when you used to have travel agents.
Yeah.
That's why so many people do travel
Right.
agents, because they would say, "Hey, come to our resort. We'll pay for
Try it
everything."
out.
And then you
I
send people
watched.
there.
It's a dude. I think he's out of New York. He wanted to do the show, but then his shit took off, and I think I'm eventually going to circle back. But his name was the Grub Father, and he was out of Brooklyn or something, and he always showcased all this stuff. He was one of the early people that I followed. I'm sure other people were doing it, but he was one of the first people that I followed that were doing stuff with food. And then I watched it grow, and then he started highlighting resorts, and then I was like.
I mean, that's
like,
a nice
this
niche
motherfucker's
market.
getting flown out, and then he's just taking pictures, and now he's showing 250,000 people. Hey, man, so you figure that a numbers game, even if they got 1,000 people to come to their resort off of that, it's well worth having somebody come out and comp them
It's
all
a
their
great
stuff.
promotion. I mean, they just helped themselves by giving this guy the opportunity to go there because he has all those followers that are looking at this and be like, whoa,
It's advertising. How much
this
is it worth?
this place is awesome. I'm
And
gonna go.
I think, and like some people, like, because you probably see the angle and whatnot, because you use social media all day. But it's like, I eventually want to take my van, and even if I only do it a couple of times, but it's like, to me, it's like, if you're a social media person and you're posting all day long, and your life, some parts of your life, because I used to post way more in my stories than I do now, and I started documenting my life too much, and I pulled out.
Right.
And now it's like, I'll go in the morning and I do my hikes and I take good pictures of that, and people like that. But it's like, if I take my van, and let's say, or if I go to Vegas now and I'm going with my buddy and we go out there, this is all content for people that follow me. So now I'm taking pictures in Vegas. They're coming along. They're doing that. But it's like, if you angle this stuff correctly and you start lining things up, you could literally get paid to just live your life doing
to do
exciting
what you
things
love,
and document it. So like, if I would take my van,
Demolition Ranch.
yeah. So if
That's
I would take
what that guy
if I would
does.
take my van and I would go to Colorado hiking, and I take the time off and I take a month out of it, and I was like, I tell the sponsors, look, instead of being on the show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to document all this stuff. I'm going to put it up on Instagram. So now it's like, you know, there's so much stuff there where it's like, okay, well, the entire trip is now Insta story.
Yeah.
Now I also got a camera, so now that's YouTube. And then I'm going to come back and edit all this, and it's going to turn into a show. And then I'm going to dump that on here instead of you being on the podcast. And then now I don't have to stay here. And for a month, I could just go off
can
into
just
the
roam
mountains
it.
if I
Yeah,
want
that's
to.
awesome.
But if you set yourself up that way, and you could easily do it with stuff, but it's like,
Yeah, that's
it's a
ultimately the-
weird,
that's ultimately the
it's a
plan.
weird way things are now, where you can take a platform like Instagram and literally create a business on top of it, and then you do that website, and then you start getting all that traffic from there to there, and
yeah.
like, you start showing people some numbers. You can do a lot of cool stuff.
That is the beauty of the internet and our society today. At least,
Yeah.
at least we now have the opportunity to do that.
There's terrible shit.
Which is
With
awesome.
like fall's gonna be awful. I already see it coming. Everyone's arguing again. We had a nice summer, but like, it's already starting, and it's like, so.
I mean, I would argue it's been happening. But
Yeah. I mean, well, I hide a lot of it, but like, for what's coming down the pipe and what's going on, I'm like, man, this is gonna suck. But like, the positives about social media are like, if you ignore the fighting and the nonsense, is like you can literally carve out a career and get paid
big time.
to do what, like, you love food.
Yeah.
And you can create a career doing what you want with food literally off of just being on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I know I follow a lot of people who just do that, and that's the end goal. Would be awesome
Yeah.
to just to do that. Post about this, go here, try this out, etc. Whether that be a cocktail, new speakeasy, because I love speakeasies, or like I said, a steakhouse or another
Yeah.
sushi place, etc.
And this is still very new to you, but like how do you have a timeline, or how close do you think you are from making the jump?
To the website and having interactive with the Instagram page, I think that depends. Well, because I'm also like not tech savvy, so it depends on that situation. But I would hopefully say maybe within 6 months.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. If everything goes as planned.
So you, in like 2022, you'd like to be just doing this full time?
Well, I mean, I would love to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that would be possible, but at least to have the website part up, where if you're on the website, Instagram handle will be there, and you can go from one to the other. I think that will be feasible in the near future. But yeah, we'll see how that goes, though. Like I said, fingers crossed.
It's exciting, man. It's cool to watch. And it was one of the most interesting, it's why I wanted to bring you on here, with how interesting it is that you can do what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
And because I see like where you're at with your the number you're at with the followers and whatnot, and I've been watching it grow, and I'm like, I really want to have him on here at a point, because I feel like in the next year and a half, 2 years, it's going to tip over into 10, and then you're going to start, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I hope so.
That's just my
Yeah,
opinion, but I'm
yeah.
saying is I wanted to grab you on here while it was still early, before you turn this into a business, just to talk to somebody.
Oh, thank you.
From the beginning.
It was great
What
being
but
here.
I'm saying is, like, from the beginning of watching somebody build a career off of Instagram or just social media, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's actually funny enough. I didn't realize this until I saw a reminder on my archives. A year ago today is when I hit 1,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and now I'm at 7,512, I think.
Yeah, and like that's not easy to get to that number.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not easy at all. Like, I've been busting my ass doing all this stuff over here. I know what it takes to get followers.
Yeah.
And it's it's with the food stuff too. It's like, thank God I've always loved food, but it's like when I connected the food to what I'm doing, it's helping. It's making things more interactive. It's, what's cool is like when I got out there and did the pop-ups, then people started telling me about the podcast. And I never, you know what I mean? Like, I never
Yeah.
went out. My friends and whatnot say something, or like his mom always says nice things about the show. But it's like, you know what I mean? But I take strangers' opinions.
Yeah.
So like, like when I'm out at a pop-up and someone's like, yo, dude, I fuck with your podcast. Like, you helped me out during this, or like, you guys did a really good job with this show and that show. And then I was like, oh shit, man. Like, people are listening to this shit.
Again, it's all the platforms, and
Yeah.
you see one, then you go to the other, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, I mean, right now, fingers crossed, you got the website coming up, and then everything will be interactive and working together.
Yeah, man.
But that's where I am at this point.
It's been a pleasure. You can come on here whenever you want.
Yeah, I'd love to come back.
I would love to have you back. Even if we would all go eat somewhere and then come back and talk about it or line something up, we can do something cool with like kind of like an interactive thing. Or maybe we'll get a food person to come on with us, because
that'd
we
be
can do
cool.
a fourth. So like maybe we'll, I don't know, maybe we'll see if the Nice Slice is doing something, or I'll try and get a food person, and then the four of us can do something.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Yeah, man. I just
food,
reached out. I follow you. I just thought it would be interesting to do an interview with you. You're super personable. I mean, your social media matches your personality completely.
Thank you.
Because of how much we talked before even the show started. It's like, well, of course this guy is going to talk to everybody
Yeah.
he interacts with. You're just a very personable person.
I appreciate it.
Everything you do with the page is awesome. The food that you put out's awesome. I love everything you're doing, and I wanted to grab you before you were too busy to even fuck with what we're doing.
Don't worry, I always got time for you guys.
I appreciate that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a chance to let anyone know how they can get a hold of you. What's the best page to follow? If you have a Facebook group, YouTube, or whatever you're doing, what is the easiest way to follow Dining with Brooks?
Literally, easiest Instagram, Dining with Brooks. That's it. That's what I have right now. Simple as that. And that's it. And that's where you can follow me. And eventually I'll have the website. Probably also Dining with Brooks.
Cool.
And there you go.
All right.
You can find me at the local restaurants eating a bunch of food.
Awesome. I'll line something up with bringing a food guy on. I'll talk to him a little bit and see who we can bring on here with him. I'm trying to think. We've had food people on. The Nice Slice would be really easy to do, and he's so fun to bring him back. But I don't know. I'll think about that one for a little bit.
Keep your thing open. I don't know if you have anything booked, but I'm gonna go there. My brother's coming home that weekend.
Yeah, we can do something. Even Matt J maybe
August
bring
21st.
back on. We'll figure it out. If you're a first-time listener, first-time watcher, neveragainstudio.com is where you can find anything with our apparel. If you need t-shirts made, anything made, keychains, anything. I work directly with Axelrad Screen Printing. They're a massive screen printer in the area, and I can help you with all your needs. If you want to sponsor the show, you're a smaller business, you're a business, and you want to advertise on here, we help with that. Anything you see that we are doing, I can help you do with that as well. I usually do that so good. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Everything that we're doing, we also offer as a service. So you can go to neveragainstudio.com and get all that information. NazoAmmo.com. We still have some 9mm left. We're going to get some new ammunition coming in as well. I think 5.56, 223. I think he said 45. I got to talk to him and get him on here. It is just a constant back and forth.
I think you said 30 too.
Yeah. But we're going to get Keystone on here eventually. I know I keep saying it, but this is like, what was it? With Matt Damon at the end of,
Yes.
Sorry, we don't have enough time. We will get him on here.
Yeah.
Do you want to close out with anything?
I don't have it.
You got vacation?
I have a vacation.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
enjoy your vacation. Thank you so
nice.
much for coming on,
No,
man.
thank you very much.
NazoAmmo.com, neveragainstudio.com, at Dining with Brooks. Check it out.
Thank you.
I